Hey, welcome back to another video in Plasticity. So in this one, I'm just going to be modelling this range finder sculpt. I think it's a golfing sculpt or something like that. I'll put a link into what it is in the video, and if you want to follow along, feel free to follow along. Alright, so let's just jump into it. So we'll jump into the front view. So it's got something like this, and then we've got let's click 5 there, select this one, let's do Control C, Control V. So got 2 of these things, they're about like that. I'll have to lower that. I think it's curved sort of at the bottom, so I'm just gonna bring that up roughly to here. So the block out stage is kind of important. This, I mean, I like Plasticity because you can do the sketches and stuff with it, so it's pretty cool. So I'm going to go from this side to this point. What I want to do is just make sure that I do snap to the point. So you can see there where I'm snapping to the edge. I want to snap to the points there, and just to ensure I am on point with both of these, I'm just going to create a little line there. And again, I should be able to snap to both of them. And there we go. We've got the sort of base shape, if you like. So just jump back in. Let's hit 5 on the keyboard to go into perspective view. Let's grab this. I'm just going to move these up a little bit. Let's put them there and work off the grid that way. And we should be able to, I believe, extrude these out. So let's jump into number 4. So let's make a selection of these. Let's bring this out for the first one. We can go into the curves now, and we can just turn them off. I'll probably use these circles again in a little bit to maybe I won't, I might do. So we got the first one. Let's have a look. What we want to do is extrude, just bring it out slightly from there. Looks like this is angled actually as well, so I think what we're going to have to do is change the degrees. Let's just have a look, see why that's not working. Is it this side? There we go. So it's going to be angled, I think, sort of that way. Let's just push this a little bit more, I think like that. Let's click OK. I'll just take a look and probably get rid of the first solid we did. Don't think I need it. So what we'll do, just push that in. So I think it's like that. Let's turn off X-ray mode. Yeah, it's something kind of like that. So we can grab this piece now. Let's extrude. Whoops. Let's grab that piece. Choose E, do an extrusion, and what we want to do is click B to add a new body. I'm going to just select around these parts here because it is slightly sort of rounded here. So let's just grab the edge, jump back into click 5 so we can select everything. There we go. So then we've got a nice shape there now. Let's shape it up okay. So what we need to do now is sort of find these center points. So it should snap anyway. So we've got one there, and this one is a little bit sort of larger. What I'm going to do is just move this bottom one up ever so slightly, and we'll move this one down as well. It's sat there, they are sat a little bit closer together. There is an actual sort of indent as well in this, so let's just have a look. I might have to do these a little bit smaller actually, the holes. So let's just have a look. So it's only ever so slightly, something like probably like that or something. Okay, so we'll click OK there. Can bring these in, and what we're going to have to do is sort of fillet these edges. Let's just see if I can get it as close as we can there. So it's going to be something like that, and these edges as well, they're filleted and rounded like so. So what I might be best off doing is for that bit is doing these circles first of all. So what I have noticed, I think these are possibly maybe a little bit smaller. and maybe a little bit closer this way, and again we'll just bring, I think that one should be fine. So we can do the extrusion here like so. I think in fact it's gonna have to come sort of, let's just grab this piece here again. You have to come quite close to that edge, if you like. It makes it a bit difficult to see because I can't see the sort of angle here. I think it's going to be quite close. I mean, this one's sat right on that bottom section. So let's just like there again. I think that looks all right. Okay, so let's do an extrusion on both of these. Let's just hide this bit for now. What we'll do is also hide those, and we want to, I'm just going to move these back a little bit, and we'll do E, extrude, and we should be able to do the little draft there like so. So it's going to be something like this, like that. We can get them kind of there. I'll redo the lenses based upon the sketch anyway. So let's just, we can get, should be able to push these down a little bit more. Maybe about there. Well, what we can do actually, if we use O, we can just create a little ridge there, and then we should be able to just bring those in. Just use E, extrude, cut them in, bring on our piece here. So we're going to use, so this will be interesting now to see if this actually you know, how well this goes on. So it's going to be, they're going to be like, maybe sort of here, I reckon, something like that. Let's click this, let's use Q, so we've got join and join. Okay, let's just see what's happened. It looks like it's got rid of a bit there, so might be this inner section. Let's just get rid of that for now. Again, we'll just get rid of that there. Try that again to Q, and it should be Q. Looks like that one's split there, so what we want to do, union. There we go. Let's do O, bring that in ever so slightly, and again we've got that indentation now for the lens, which is something probably about here. Should be able to cut that in, push it in a bit more. There we go. And then this piece needs the fillet like so, so it's got to be filleted. And those two kind of meet like that, so we're going to fillet this one. Something, have a look. I think I just had it there. Yeah, something like that it's going to be. And then we're going to do this one. Let's have a look. I think what I'll do is I'll fillet these first a little bit, because it seems to look a little bit better like that. The fillet seems to go in a little bit better, so let's fillet them, and then something like that. And of course we've got this bit here needs rounding. I think I'll do on both sides on that. Again, just don't forget to look at the sort of reference there. So starting to take shape, pretty good. grab this one. We can just round that off, and we've got the first sort of shape there. That's, you know, not bad. Still a little bit off, you know, need to take a bit more time, probably just go through, edit it, but you know, key shapes there, pretty good. Okay, so getting the length right now, so we need to look, this bit will be a little bit trickier. So we've got the length, we've got like a pattern along the side there, so we need to get that pattern right on both sides really. So it's something, it's sort of so it goes down here roughly to the bottom here. There's a little bit of an angle, not too much. Goes across this way. Probably best switching that off for now and then, just doing it off this reference here. So it sits above here. We'll start it from about here, and it goes down, and it gets roughly to the bottom. So just looking, it's something like this. It goes across a little bit, it comes up, and again, because I've not got any more detail on it, it's a bit hard to get the you know, the reference right at the moment. And we can adjust it as we sort of need, and then it's sort of up here. So let's just have a look. Oops. There you go. So should be able to do to X. No. I'll try Y. Linking to that one. Oh, I don't want that. So let's just trim that off. Back in. That's about here. Reckon about there, like so. Let's just cut this piece up. Again, just use that cut tool. There we go. And then there's that other piece at the moment. So we'll have a look at the scale first. Let's just see how this is actually looking. So it needs to come back a little bit more. Again, just check your sort of reference there for that. So it needs to come back a little bit more. So probably, can we thicken maybe these up inside as well? I think, can we? Yeah, maybe just give these a bit of the thicker there. But it goes too much. Maybe just this one as well. There we go. Okay, so back to this. So what we're going to do is, I think we can do project, and then can we get the entirety of the curve there? So yeah, I can project the curve on, which is good. That's working. So we just need to get this to about here, and let's do in here. Let's do project again. Do X-ray mode, so I can select the parts that I want to select and project on. So click OK. You can have a look. That's all right. That's not too bad. I've still got to do the cut in here. So there's a slight cut. There's some buttons I think on top, and then there's a slight cut there as well. So what I need to do is just come through to roughly about here maybe. It comes down and then up, and then it's sort of like that. I mean, I think that'll do for us for now. And then now we can use that project. So if I grab this, let's do F. There's probably, I think it's down here in the menu as well, the project. And then let's just grab the curve. Whoops. On this side, come on. There we go. And we're going to just select each curve there. Click OK. So that should be on. Let's pretty good. So that's gone on. And what I want to do, and in actual fact, I should have really joined these as well. So let's just turn off X-ray mode. And I just want to try my best to join these if I can. Don't think they will. So let's just go back to when it was before then. Just turn this off a second. Should be able to join. There we go. And now, if I jump on here, we'll redo that project. Let's just redo that. Jump in here. Grab that. There we go. There we go. That's better. I like it when it's all connected. It's just easier to work with. So we can get rid of the middle one there. Okay, cool. So we got that projected. So what we're going to have to do with this is, because we can mirror the detail over, we'll extrude it. Let's just see if I can do extrusion along. It's going to have to be along there, like so. Something maybe like that. In fact, we could try and cut it. No, I think this might work. This might work. Might work a little bit better. So if we just hide that for now, and we'll just hide those sketches. Let's grab the edges here. I just need to sort of go through, select all the inner edges, like so. And what we'll do is we'll use patch on that. Let's have a look. Can it patch? Have I selected something I shouldn't have? It should. It's got to be. I've got to get that one as well. So I must have missed one there. So now let's try patch again. Oh. Come on, I've just had it. Come on. There we go. That's good. Okay, cool. Same for this side. So I messed that up and I was like, what? What's happening? So just sort of panicked there, trying to get the buttons right. I was like, clicking away. Sometimes it happens. So yeah, I'm just going to go through, select each of these edges now. What we want to do, again, let's just patch that up like so. Give it a minute to load. That's pretty good. So we've got that panel piece done now. It is sort of inset in here. So what we could do is also cut it out. So we could extend this piece here and attempt to try to cut it out. So let's just see if we can just bring that in a bit. Let's bring the side piece back on. And again, if I grab this front bit here, we want this. Doesn't seem to want to move from there. So what we'll do is, we can use Q, cut that. But what we'll do is we'll keep the tools. So I can click OK. So it's got the tools there. Let's turn off X-ray mode. So if I do select that now, you'll see I've got a cut to work with. And we've also got this piece as well, the panel piece as well. So we should be able to push that back in. It's not aligning to the surface when I click the surface alignment. So what I can do is just try and push it in and just eyeball it a little bit. So I think it's sort of like maybe sticks out just slightly like that. But you can definitely see that panel details there now, which is good. Okay, so that's the one part of the panel. We're going to have to obviously mirror this over. So we should have a mirror tool in here, unless I'm going blind. Let's just see. So yeah, mirror and mirror. We should union halves. Click OK. Should should mirror that. Let's turn off that piece and that piece. Grab this again. Just do mirror. Oh, there we go. It's that side. Had the wrong side. There we go. And then we can also mirror this part as well. There we go. And what we're looking at now, let's see. So there we go. It's starting to shape up quite nicely. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Let's just see. So we have got some cuts along the top, and there's a little bit at the bottom as well where it kind of sort of runs up here. So I'm going to have to cut in, I suppose, that bit here. So it runs, it's sort of like maybe a grip detail or something. So let's just cut from about here. It's roughly in line with that, and it sort of runs this way, like so. I think it might be like this. I genuinely think it's sort of like that. So let's just use that cut. Keep the piece there just in case we need it back. So I think that's how it goes. I ain't got all the reference. I mean, I'm working from that little tiny image. You know, it's always worth trying to find, like I say, all these references and stuff, if you can. You know, for activities like this, when you're modeling from sort of reference and stuff, yeah, it is quite important. But you know, if you want to get the practice in, just I won't be super strict on every single thing that you do. Just try your best to hit the forms. You know, it's about repetition. Obviously, the more accurate you do it, the sort of like the sort of longer it's going to take as well. So sometimes, you know, when you're getting used to software and things like that, you just kind of wanna you know, speed through things and get used to the workflows and stuff. So it's just different ways really that you might want to approach things. And you know, if something's not supposed to go into your portfolio and you're just doing it for a bit of fun, yeah, be a bit light on yourself. You know, be a bit lenient with some stuff. Okay, so we can put that sort of here. So it's like this switch thing here. So that's pretty cool. Let's use the 1B, and no, it's not rounded. It's sort of like that, I think. And we'll just use the 5 key. Again, what we'll do is let's do like sort of a 2 areas there. So I'll do the first. Let's use Q. Just cut that away. And what we can do, just look in there, looks, I think that might have not cut straight. So let's just jump back into here again. What we'll do is just going to hide that, and we'll do that box again. So I want this to be sort of straight. I think let's do it from sort of here, goes to sort of the edge here, about there, I think. Bring that back on, and what we'll do is we will cut, use X-ray. Actual fact, I need to grab these pieces. Let's do the those sort of edges there. Pretty good. Do it again. Must have left the cut on. There we go. Okay. So we can grab that. Do cut. it should have cut that piece for us. You just push this sort of in here, like so. And then what we'll do is apply that. Like so. Again, just have a look at the reference and just make that comparison to it. You know, is it looking about right? Yeah, I mean, it's starting to look all right. There's obviously this big dial bit as well on this side, and I'm pretty sure there's some buttons on the top of it as well. So they'll be interesting to try and model and get in. Right, okay, so we've got that bit kind of in there. Looks to me like there is another sort of indentation as well. So let's just go back in, X-ray mode back on. Let's use the cut, and hopefully I can select that. That's okay. I should have done a cut for us in here. So we've got a few different blocks there that we can sort of use. Again, just push this a little bit forward, grab that, something like that. And then what we need to do is there's definitely a sort of switch in there as well. So what we can do is it might be easier if we grab that piece there, we can just extrude out from here with a switch. See what this looks like. Might not get away with it. I mean, let's have a look. Yeah, I'm not convinced, because it's not gonna. It's, you know, to a degree, it needs to be, because when we're going to scale this, it's going to push those verts in. So in a way, it's probably not gonna work. What we're probably going to have to do is maybe use O again for this. Maybe bring this in slightly. We can grab the other sketches that we don't need, so we turn them off. Then what we can do is use the 1 key, grab those points, and we can just move this in. So this keeps it to sort of scale there, and it's not too much over. It's something like that. It's only a little switch, which would be good. And then what we need to do is we need to use the 5 key again, grab this piece, let's bring it out as a switch, like so. Again, we can just push this up ever so slightly if we need to be. I think we'll be okay though. And then what we can do is we'll turn off that. Grab that face, I think it's Shift R, nope, Control R, there we go. And what we need to do is add in a couple of segments. So I do believe we should be able to, is it Shift and scroll? There we go. So we can add some of these in, like so. And then we can just bring those roughly out there. And it's a little bit rounded as well, so we can just do a little bit more. I think actually we're probably going to do a couple more. Let's tab that. I think probably. Yeah, I want it. It's quite thin, the gap in the middle, so I'm just trying to get it sort of lined up really best I can. I think this will give us enough sort of detail there. There we go. Reckon like that, and then we can grab these edges because it is sort of rounded. Just want to make a selection on them. Get each one of these, like so. And then sort of just round them. Not too much. Something like that. It's alright. Let's have a look now. And there we go, got that little switch detail in there. Let's have a look. So we've got a few more bits and pieces to put on. What we'll do, I can mirror this across. Any sort of detail here we can mirror across to the other side, it's not a problem. So we've got some sort of lines on the sort of panel here. So we've got some lines on there to put in. So we need to get them in as well. So what we can do is grab, I suppose we're going to have to use, let's have a look here, because we can put lines in and build them up that way. I'm just trying to think what would be sort of the best options for us to do it. I reckon maybe just starting with a rectangle like this. It's probably going to give us the best sort of results. So we can get this into the position we want, and it's going to be, we want it, I think it looks like about 45. Yeah, I reckon they're about 45. So we've got the first one in place. We'll make the adjustments in a moment for them. So let's have a look. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. Third. Let's do another one. And here. And then final one, which is about there, I reckon. Okay, so let's use the 1 key and grab these. Let's change that pivot, and we can just scale them roughly to where we want them. It's pretty good. Do the same for this side, again V, and just grab that pivot point and just scale that roughly where we kind of want it. With them, they're sort of cut on the sides as well, so you're gonna have to just line this up and then maybe do another cut for the sketches. So we'll do that in a second. So again, just concentrate on getting these lines sort of in position. Let's just move down here, maybe sort of long there. So that's where the cut's gonna go across the top. Again, for this one, choose that V key and roughly get it in place. It's going to be sort of there. So it is quite small, this one. Maybe it needs to probably just come over a touch as well, like so. Okay, so we've got roughly these are in sort of place, roughly. I think this is going to have to come up to about here. Right, okay, so roughly these are in place. So what we want to do is create a line straight across from that one, and then I need to try my best to just sort of align these points up like so. It's going to be, in actual fact, we could probably do like this. This will give us a cleaner cut. So G, move. And then we've got the side parts as well. So I just spent all that time moving them, and I just realised I've got to cut them anyway, so I should be able to cut them into shape, into the shapes that I want. So let's do these ones here. Oh, G, V, so. Oh. Okay, so that's the first sort of line there. And then we need to grab this one. And we've got to do it, so this one is its own piece, so that needs to cut there. And then we need another line for the bottom section here. And then this one needs to run up to there. So what we'll do now is hide our geometry. Let's just hide that and hide this piece and the back piece as well. And then you can see here where it's starting to, it's sort of got the cuts in place. Let's use T, get rid of any sort of excess there, so we don't need those parts in the middle. Get rid of them, like so. You can just come through, cut all these, cut that, cut this. So I'm just trimming this loads now. Let's get rid of anything we don't need. And these top pieces. And that's cool. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is we're going to project it onto the mesh piece itself. So we're going to project it onto here. So we're going to select this piece, search for project, and then what we want to do is select all the sketch profiles here. So we want these, let's just drag over them, click OK. So that's done really good job there of projecting sort of on. We might be able to cut it as well. So if we grab C now, we'll be able to cut these like so. And then what we should be able to do is grab each one of these and just push them in for the indents. Use Q and just reattach these pieces together like so, and they should be done. So if we just hide all these pieces here, all the sketches, there we go. That's not bad at all. Let's just jump up here to our main pieces that we've got, and there we go. Got a really nice sort of shape taking place there now. So we've got the sort of side detail on there. Need to do a few more bits as well. There's a few more cuts and stuff like that in there as well. I've just realised actually this bottom piece as well is it's like rubber as well. So you got these rubber parts, and there's a bottom piece that's rubber as well. So we'll work on sort of getting that done now. So again, do sort of a similar thing to what we did before. So we're going to start like this. Let's use Y to lock it in. Get it to roughly about here and come across, and then it starts to go up. As it goes up, it sort of follows as it follows the the other markings round, so something like that, and then probably to about here, and down. And I think I can cut that like so. And then what we can do is possibly with these bits selected, what I'm hoping for anyway, is just to be able to maybe just move them ever so slightly. So let's just hide those that sketch line that I did. So just take a quick nosy here. Yeah, and there we go. We got another rubber part there. In there, so there's a bit more detail obviously to do on it. So there's some bits and pieces here on the side and stuff that we need to sort of get on there as well. So there's another sort of bit here where they got some more cuts or indents. So yeah, it should be fairly straightforward. Again, let's just do a sort of line like so. We can just move this sort of in place. Let's just use the X-ray mode there. Just use R to rotate. So it's going to be, again, it's probably going to be like 45 maybe. Might be a bit less on this one. Maybe a bit. We'll go for 45. I mean, the others are 45. It looks like it's the same angle. I've done 45, so yeah, we'll go for 45 on that. And we just need to sort of cut them in place. So that's the first one, which is going to go about here. We'll copy that across again, and then it's a case of just us making those cuts. So first one sort of cut kind of like that. So we need to make these a bit bigger. So we'll do the one key. Let's use G. Grab this, bring it up. And again, I'll do the same for this bit here as well. And then what we should be able to do is just trim this. And it's going to be trimmed. It does come down a little bit, and then it is sort of trimmed off maybe here. So if we do keep that Y value in there, trim sort of that other piece as well, like so. And then we're going to do the last bit here, like so. Then we can hide the part of the mesh that I want. There we go. Use the trim tool, get rid of these bits. So on the actual model itself, it looks like these need to be probably pushed apart a little bit more. So you can see the gaps are a little bit wider on that top bit there. So what I'll do is I'll grab I'll grab this point here, and I'll try and move that across if I can. So let's just move this here, and then what I'll do is I'll just move this up ever so slightly as well, just to create that a bit more of a gap really. And again with this one, we're going to be a little bit further down and a little bit further across, you know, that way, something like that. That should do. And we can bring our piece back on, we can select it. Let's use we'll go for cut, so we should be able to cut these pieces. Let's see, did that work? Okay, cut didn't seem to work there. It might be because they're not joined, so let's just join these up. Yeah, so I'm hoping that works now. So if we do C, there you go, cut, and then we can just bring those indents a little bit, grab that, Q, union, can just hide them. And these are in fact a little bit smoother as well, so we'll grab these here, you know, we'll give those a bit of a smooth sort of look to them. There we go. Turn off that X-ray mode. So that's pretty good going up to now. We've got the back piece as well, so I can't really see that on the image. So it's a little bit difficult to make out. But what we'll do is we'll just create a sketch here, and you know, we can grab that. We can grab this bit. You know, we can bring this out roughly to where we think it's gonna sort of be. So it's something around there. You know, we can bring the just do that again. Come on, select the edge. There we go. Just sort of round that edge as well, for that little bit. And then I do think there's some buttons along the top, so we're gonna have to cut in, I think they're just ever so slightly along here, like so. So I think if we use this, cut in, click OK, we can get rid of this piece. So switch our sketches off. And it looks to me like there's a part or something on top here. So if we use the indent, you should be able to indent that like so. Just extrude it out slightly. Could be attached. I'm not quite sure. So what we can do is we can just select these edges, and then what we'll try and do is just see if we can crank that fill. It probably won't work because I've got the smaller edges selected. So we'll do this one first. Do sort of the bottom edge there. Just smooth that out a little bit, and then we'll grab top edges like so, and then it's just a case really of just trying to smooth those corner bits out as well, something like that. And then there's obviously like a button or something that's on top here, so or there might be a couple. There could be a few on here, you know. Again, this is where you gotta sort of collect your references and things like that. So you just gotta go in and do your homework really. So I'll do three. I reckon. What we'll do a rect array just to keep them all sort of sweet in that sweet spot. So let's have a look. There we go. So if we select each center there, just bring these up as their own sort of buttons, kind of stick out a little bit, not too much. Something like that. I can grab each one. Oops. I'm going to grab each one. Just push it in a little bit more. And then what we can do is just have a look at the angle we've got now. So something like that. So yeah, you can sort of see a tiny little button on top, and then there's just this side sort of panel really. we need to sort of get in. A few grip parts as well on this. So let's do, I think maybe if we grab this here, possibly from the center. Let's use G. It's going to be about there, and then we can just push that out like so. Should be able to grab this now, and what we want to do with it is do a radial array from the center point here like so. I think in fact that probably sticks out a little bit too much. Let's just go back. We'll just push that in a little bit more there, and then we'll grab this piece now, radial array, and yeah, I mean, I don't fancy counting them, but at least they're on there now. Then we can use Q, select all these bits that we've got, we can sort of attach these now onto here, do a union, click OK. Again, you know, we can switch off these sort of sketches that we're not sort of using now. I'm going to assume this has sort of a lens in it, so we'll just for sort of the demo, we'll push that in like so. And we've got, I think there's just a sort of a side indentation now left on here where some POW or something is wrote on. So there's sort of a slight sort of indent in there. So what we can try, yeah, bit of a funny old angle. Bit funny, so it's about probably comes from probably here like that. I think in fact probably starts there and comes down like so. Sort of here. We just need to make sure this sort of goes across. So again, what I'll do is let's use a T. I'll just trim that one. Grab this piece again, put it across, and it's drew it onto the actual thing itself. It's which is pretty good, but I don't want that. So I'm just gonna hide that for a second. Let's turn ghost mode on. Try that again. Because what happens then, your extrusions kind of get a little bit messed up. So do it something about there. Yeah, I think. Let's have a look. It's done it again. It's drew on the side. So I'll have to. What I'll have to do is grab this one. Let's just turn it off, and then we'll just eyeball it from here. So it's going to be from there, comes down to about here, slight one. It goes to about there, and there we go. Something like that it is. So okay, so it's a little bit over. It's not too bad though. So I can just grab these points. Let's use G just to move them into position. Again, just move that down now. And I think that's okay. So if we select our piece here, should be able to grab that, cut. And what I'll do is just do that sort of indent there, like so. So let's just see. I suppose I've got to get that bit. Let's clean that selection up. There we go. Just push that in. Use Q to join the union, and then we've got to select sort of these bits here. It's not. I suppose it's not. It's more sort of rounded on the corners here. Don't really get to see it on the other part. So if we just sort of round these little corners a bit, like so, and then we can just bring this quite close to the edge there. And then, yeah, I think that's sort of the majority of the detail in there now. So yeah, not too bad, not too bad. What's that took? It's good activity actually, good activity, just short of an hour, which is good. That's good for practice modelling, you know, about an hour. Give yourselves about an hour time, you know, don't be too precious with things. You know, there's always things that you can go back and improve, like, you know, these can be, you know, chamfered down a little bit, you know, add that curve, make it a little bit more dynamic, and, you know, some of the detailing. So, you know, some of these bits as well, you know, we could come back in now, start selecting these, and, you know, we can start really getting into the real small forms, if you like, on the model itself. And it just depends on how far you want to take it and what you envision the purpose of the piece, really. Yeah, I mean, if it's, you know, if it's going to go in your portfolio, then obviously an hour is not going to be long enough. You've got to spend a considerably much longer time period really modeling. So you're going to have to sort of really getting into the sort of nooks and crannies of the model, and really shape up, and yeah, start tweaking things as you can. Little things as well, like, you know, this bit here, you're going to want to maybe soften those edges, and, you know, there's certain things you're going to want to do, but again, it all depends on your sort of objectives and your sort of goals, really, of what you want to do and what you want to achieve. For me, the purpose of it is just to keep me sharp, you know, keep the dust off. You know, if it was to do this again, you know, and it was going to be a final piece, I'd definitely spend a lot longer on the key forms and the structure. But hope you enjoyed it anyway. It's a good exercise, good activity. Give us a like, follow, and subscribe, and yeah, I'll leave a comment, let me know your thoughts, and I'll see you in the comments or the next video. Bye bye for now.